So, okay, then let's continue. Today we are then actually through after this class. Therefore, need will use all the 4 hours next week for the practical, because he will do a practical weeks ago or whenever it was. And I will then give you the last week just a round up of everything what we have done. But after this class today, we are then actually through with everything. That gives you then enough time to prepare yourself for the examination. Yeah? The exam will be in 4 weeks, something like this one. So yeah, then you can just, and I uploaded yesterday the test. Yeah? So then just start now to answer all the questions for test number 2. You should have it then by the 31st of October. Yeah? So and then just answer all the questions and do this as good as possible, because the test number 2 is actually also a very, very good preparation then for the examination. Yeah? I think the examination looks like, in a way, like test number 2. Yeah? So if you are able to answer all the questions in test number 2, then you should be able to manage the examination without any problems. Yeah? So, and therefore, in the last week, I will then give two classes, I mean 2 lessons in one class about my own research, and there you can then see for what this was useful, what I taught you over the whole semester. So and there you have then also last time the chance to ask me some questions about test number 2. Yeah? So and be sure that you are handing in test number 2 by the 31st. Yeah, that is now. Yeah, you have the 2 weeks time left, yeah, even more, yeah. So and then we will do the field trip just after the exam, because during the semester it's always bad to do this supervised field trip, because then you have always clashes with other classes. So and when I'm doing the field trip after the exam, then I already know how you have done in the exam. So, and for those who are then a little bit shaky, you know, just on the borderlines, yeah, then I can just check you again in the field and lift you then up by using your field report. So that it's not just to keep you here, and that I will like to do the field trip after the exam. There is a reason behind, yeah? So, and then after the exam, we can then also sit here somewhere. We will go to one sitting somewhere, we're relaxing a little bit, yeah, and having some fun in this week. And that was then actually the whole stuff. So now we're coming here to the last chapter. As I told you, we are talking now about metamorphism of quartzoid feldspathoid rocks. Yeah? So and then I mean, of course, a quartzoid feldspathoid rock, that is a rock which contains a lot of silica. Yeah? So and for example, a lot of silica you have in a sandstone. Yeah? I mean, in the sandstone is a sediment, and there you have a lot of detrital minerals inside. Because all these grains in the sandstones were deposited somewhere, yeah? Were deposited somewhere, so and then you are forming this sandstone. And one of such a sandstone is a grey wacke, yeah? A grey wacke. We have here two examples of grey wacks. And grey wacke number 1 has 70.9 weight% silica, yeah, it's a lot of silica. Then you have titanium oxide inside, a little bit aluminium here, aluminium oxide 14%. You have a little bit iron, a little bit magnesium, a little bit calcium, sodium. You have relatively a high concentration of 4% and 2.6% potassium. So that we have here two chemical compositions of grey wackes, yeah. And the second one has a little bit less silica inside, 63.7 weight%, and then the aluminium is 16.1, FeO 5.5. I must not go through all of the stuff, yeah. So, and then you have these detrital minerals inside. These are all these mineral grains in your sandstone, yeah? They are not in equilibrium, which is our. These are just all these different grains which has deposited somewhere, yeah? You should know this by now what a sediment is, yeah? From the ES203. So, and therefore these detrital minerals, you have there of course a lot of quartz, plagioclase, albite, cave feldspar, muscovite, biotite, you have some chlorite, some cumbelite. You can also find garnet, epidote, alanite, blah blah blah. And here you have apatite and you have a little bit ilmenite and a little bit graphite. So, and here for the grey wacke number 2, we have nearly the same mineral assemblage, but as I told you, these are just single grains which were sedimented somewhere, deposited somewhere, and baked together, yeah? So, and now we are sending them on the journey, yeah? So, and now we are, that means we put some pressure and temperature on these grey wackes, and then we are making a metamorphic rock out of it, yeah? Here we are going to phrenite, cumbelite facies conditions. Phrenite, cumbelite facies conditions, that is very, very low grade. Metamorphism, very, very low grade metamorphism. You know that is which facies you are expecting when you are going through your facies diagram, which type of metamorphic facies you are expecting if I'm talking about a phrenite and cumbelite. That is subgreen schist. So, and then we are forming some metamorphic minerals. There we are meaning we have the neometamorphic minerals, that is the quartz. You have the albite, the muscovite, stibnomelan, chlorite, cumbelite. Then we have some epidote, we have some titanite, we have some calcite, pyrrhotite, and pyrite. So, and then we are doing with our grey wacke of the second chemical composition as well, and then you are forming different neometamorphic minerals. So, and of course, if you are increasing then the pressure and the temperature, let us say we are increasing then the pressure and the temperature at the collision zone of continental fragments. What you are expecting then next? You are expecting we are running out of facies conditions and running into facies conditions. later on amphibolite facies conditions. So, and then our greybucket was before the sedimentary rock, and then are you expecting then a high fluid or volatile activity or a high volatile concentration or a lower? So if you have a sedimentary rock or sediments, then all these grains where some were embedded, transported by a river, then you are bringing all these sediments to the ocean, and then they were embedded somewhere, they were deposited somewhere. So now you are sending them in a continental collision zone or in a subduction zone. So and then what are you thinking? Are these sediments then are dry or wet? These are wet. This is all wet. So and then you are running now with them through all these metamorphic phases, and you are reaching then the border between amphibolite phases and granulite phases conditions. What happens then to a wet rock? We did this now a couple of times. What you are producing then with a wet rock? You are producing melt. You are producing melt, and then you are producing a bipartite. As I have told you while we were talking about the metaminites, yeah? These are also sedimentary rocks, but these may have been very, very aluminium-rich sediments. So there you are producing then melt in the transition between amphibolite and granular facies conditions. So next slide, please. So then you have here such a phase diagram for a greybuck sandstone of a composition of a granodiorite. So what means this then? If we have a greybuck which has a chemical composition of a granodiorite, what happened there before? So what happens there before was just the rock type where all these grains come from before it was transported from the mountain range into the ocean. That was a granodiorite. Yeah? You should know this now also from ES203. That was a granodiorite. So due to weathering processes, this granodiorite falls in their single pieces. The grains become transported to the ocean, were sedimented there or deposited there. So and then later on it was baked together. And then you are producing a greybuck which has a chemical composition of a granodiorite. So that is now your protolite, yeah? So that means by now you do not have a metamorphic rock. So in such sediments you can also find a lot of them here in Fiji. And you can also find the protolites, and you can also find subgreen schist and green schist facies rocks. So if you are looking for higher grade metamorphic rocks, then you have to go there if you like to find a picolite or a lucis. Where do you have to go then? Here is the next place where you can find eclogites or blue schists. Nearby, that is the New Caledonia. So, and if you like to find very, very high-grade ultramafic rocks here around, here, on the Fiji Islands, where do you have to go? You can find them here on Viti Levo, because there you can find some metamorphosed peridotites. So in the other one, the other peridotites where you can find here, that is in coral you can find a lot. These are the spinel peridotites or lersulites, but they have symplectites inside, and they have other typical features in syn sections, which are typical for very, very high-grade metamorphic rocks. So that is not out of space, only for those people thinking that the world consists only of the Fiji Islands. You can also find them here. So, but anyway, now we have such a grey bucket, going back to the feldspar reed rocks. So, and now we are starting here again with our very, that is still not a real metamorphic rock. You know, you have plagioclase, you have some actinolite, you have some chlorite, and you have some who. And who, what the hell is who? That is some, I don't know, I have to check it in the book, or you have to check it in the book. So, and now we have here the northsonite, or we have here plagioclase, actinolite, chloride, and then you have here these boundaries. Here we have the boundary where the lawsonite goes out. So, and here we have some isotherms. Here we have 5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. Here we have 7 degrees Celsius per kilometer. What shows you this? When we are running around these two isotherms or geotherms, what tells you this? In which geotectonic setting we are then there? 7 degrees Celsius per kilometer, or even 10 degrees Celsius per kilometer. Are we then in a subduction zone or continental collision zone? We are then in the subduction zone. So whereas if you are running here along the kyanite type PT pass or isotherm, then we are in a continental collision zone. So and there we have the medium pressure and medium temperature conditions forming different metamorphic rocks or different metamorphic rocks compared to those of them running around or along an isotherm which we are using for a subduction zone. So then there we have the garnet. In here we have hornblende out. So what tells you this curve when the hornblende goes out? So is hornblende a hydrous or anhydrous mineral? That is a hydrous mineral, so we have dehydration because the hornblende is an amphibole. So, and therefore we are producing the melt. So, and here we have the K-feldspar in. So, and if we have the K-feldspar in, then one can write down different mineral chemical reactions using the triangle method to form the K-feldspar. So that means to form the K-feldspar, then we need some potassium, and this potassium becomes available while the horn blende is dehydrating, and the horn blende contains potassium. Here at lower temperatures you have then again, of course, here in this wide-shaded field, the cordiorite. So in cordiorite is typically for some sedimentary protodites. You can find cordiorite also in the metaphylites. So here we are going then to higher pressures. So that means we are getting then a pyroxene, and this pyroxene is chardeitic in compositions, in mineral chemical composition, and such a chardate that is sodium, aluminium, Si2O6. So then we are going to the next slide. So here we have now a map, also from just around the corner, that is from a meta-greybucket schist in South New Zealand, yeah, of the South Island of New Zealand. It's just 4 hours to go there by plane. So and there we have then, here we have the Tasmanian Sea. That is then towards to Australia. Australia is somewhere here. Tasmania is somewhere here. So then we have here a fault of the alpine type. Here we have an ophiolite belt. So what is now an ophiolite belt? That is a belt where you can find ophiolites. Ophiolites are metamorphosed ultramafic rocks which contain a lot of serpentine. So in these ophiolites, you can find them on the top. So because your hydrated ultramafic rocks where it has then a very low density, then they were not subducted, they become abducted, and therefore they are lying at the top around. So then we have here a zeolite facies greybucket, a meta-greybucket. If you are talking about the meta-greybucket, that means it is already metamorphosed, because otherwise you do not call this a meta-greybucket. Here we have then the phrenite pulverite facies, that is very, very low-grade metamorphism, that is here. So and here we have then the pulverite actinolite facies conditions. So and these is then a higher metamorphic grade, but it's still very low, yeah. But it has seen higher pressure and temperature conditions because we are forming then the mineral actinolite. and the actinolite is an amphibole. So then we are running here out of the subgreen schist phasous condition, and we are running here inside in field A. Then we have here the chloride zone, so we can then find first chloride, and the chloride, that is really chloride, and is typical for regis phasous conditions. So that means without doing any calculations, you can then you can already construct first signs from PD pass, because we are crossing from subgreen schist into green schist. So here still we have an A, the transition zone between A and B here. So and then we have a zone where we have garnet biotite albite, and we have a zone where we have no garnet, that is here, but only biotite. So what happens then in such a zone? Both are then regis phasous, showing regis phasous condition, but in one zone we have biotite, and in the other zone we have garnet and biotite. So what happens there in this transition zone? That is, here you have different chemistries maybe, or a different temperature pressure gradient that you are forming on that side this, and on the other side that. Or you have here also a higher fluid activity. Yeah? Then we are forming here a garnet zone. And if you have a garnet zone, then we are running out here of green schist phasous condition, that is in the transition between the green schist and amphibolite phasous. And here we have then the oligoclast zone, and the oligoclast, that is, what is an oligoclast now? That is a plagioclase with a chemical composition which is typical for amphibolite phasous conditions. So and there you have then different metamorphic rates. So, here we have then our mineral chemical composition diagram for the different phases. Here we have zeolite, phrenite, cupellite, actinolite. All this till here is all subgreen schist. Yeah? These are still very, very low grade metamorphic rocks. And now I can answer the question from the beginning: what is the who in the diagram? That is the Eulandite. Yeah, that is one of these. You remember the who, yeah? So with the who, that is the Eulandite, and that is just very, very water-rich mineral. There is actually a tectosilicate as well. So then we have here the breaches, and the breaches can here be subdivided in a zone where we have chloride, and then in the zone where we have biotite. Then we have here the transition zone where we have the garnet, and here we are running into the amphibolite phases where we have then the oligoclase, yeah? But together with the oligoclase we have also some antecene a little bit, yeah? So quartz we have in all of these rocks because they are all these gray buckets have a lot of quartz inside, therefore they are gray buckets. Then you have here the albite is breaking down here, forming then from here the oligoclase, which has the more calcium inside. You know that is the sodium-calcium exchange in the plagioclases. Then you have here a very low temperature, pressure temperature conditions, the zeolites, yeah, we have the laumotite, we have the heulamite, we have the phrenite, and here we are starting to form some pumpelite. Here we are forming then some actinolite. We have in all of these rocks, we have the muscovite stable. Later on here under breaches, facies conditions, we are getting then the biotite. We have a little bit still novellan. We have from the beginning till to the transition zone of the from breaches to amphibolite. We have still a lot of chloride inside, but some chlorides can survive up to amphibolite facies conditions. We have some epidote inside. Later on here we are starting to produce some garnet. We have some titanite. And at higher pressure and temperature conditions, while we are running out of breaches, facies conditions, we are getting then also some ilmenite. So and now they have made up PT passes using the mineral assemblage, what they could find or observe, and also the mineral chemistry. Then you got here in New Zealand 2 clockwise PT passes. So that I mentioned to you also a lot of time, but then we are doing it just again. Such a pass is clockwise. Such a pass is anti-clockwise. So then we have here low-grade metamorphism. Here we have peak. Metamorphic conditions. Here we have retrograde metamorphism. So and from here to here, from here to here we have isothermal decompression. So when the whole thing is then, that is for what for a geotectonic scenario is such a PT pass. It is written already here that it can be a subduction or a continental collision, but it is a compression. So then on the other side we have the anti-clockwise PT path. Then you have here on this hand flow rate, metamorphism, here we have our peak, metamorphic conditions. So and here we have retrograde. Metamorphism. So and what happens then from here to here? So that is isobaric cooling. So because that is isobaric cooling, that means we are cooling it down and keeping the pressure relative constant compared to the temperature. Here we have P, here we have T. So whereas while we are talking about isothermal decompression, we are reducing the pressure and keeping the temperature in relation to the pressure more or less constant, that is it. So and what is now the geotectonic scenario behind this? That is that we are heating something up, and while we are heating something up, where does this happen? That is, for example, when we have a magmatic underplate. So where can you see here very, very big signs that we have a magmatic underplate. Then you can see it here in Manua level, and you will see it during the field trip, while you can observe all these hot springs, and this water has been heated up somewhere, and that happens in the ground. And that is because you have a high heat flow there, and that is because of the magmatic underplate. So, and here when you see that, we have a slow subduction zone. So, and therefore you can constructing, or not you, but I'm constructing PT passes to understand the history behind all these rocks. So next slide. So here we have another picture from some gray buckets, metamorphosed gray buckets. From here we have then the San Francisco, we have Santa Barbara. So, and then we know we are sitting in California, and California that is just on the west coast from the United States. So, and here we have our subduction zone. We have actually a very fast subduction zone here. It is not that fast compared to the subduction zone which we find here in Tonga. I told you last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, that the subduction zone here in Tonga is the fastest subduction which we can find worldwide. It has a subduction rate of 240 millimeters per year. This one here is also relatively fast, and I mean they are facing here in San Francisco a lot of earthquakes. Yeah, it's always when you are subduction related, then you are facing a lot of earthquakes. So, and then we have here zeolite facies conditions, rocks of zeolite facies conditions. There is this gray field. Then in a little bit, there is the here actually. Then here we have freenite, pulverite facies conditions. That is the here. And here we have Lucius facies conditions. That means we have a slow subduction. And the steep subduction. So, and then we have here everywhere some tectonic blocks consisting also of eclogites, metabasites, amphibolites, and gneisses. And of course, the subduction is sticking from here to there, yeah. Then you have more far away from your subduction zone, you have the lower grade metamorphic rocks. And close to the subduction, you have then the high-grade metamorphic rocks. So here we have a detailed map from this island here. There we have the jade, pyroxene, and albite, and we have a composition here only albite and no jade pyroxene. So what tells you this? Which mineral is never stable under eclogite facies conditions? As I told you, for example, 2 weeks ago, or last week. No, I told you this last week ago, and I told you this a lot of times. Which mineral is not stable under eclogite facies conditions? That is the plagioclase. So when the plagioclase breaks down, then we are producing then a jadate. So then I showed you also last week in the diagram. So next slide. So here we have now the mineral assemblages for these rocks from the San Francisco Bay. Yeah? You can find all these minerals when you are there, just when you are driving over the Golden Gate. You know the Golden Gate, that is this bridge. When you are driving over from San Francisco towards to the north, I think so, then you are crossing the Golden Gate. And just afterwards, from the Golden Gate, you can find all these blue schists, and you can find the eclogites. So in all these rocks, you have the quartz inside, albite here under zeolite facies conditions, of course only the Laurentide. You have here the freenite and the pulverite. under blue-schist phase conditions we will then form northsonite, jadate, and glaucophan. So up to blue-schist conditions, we have then the chloride and vermiculite solution. Then chloride we have everywhere. Then we have the fenchite. The fenchite is also a dioctahedral mica. We have still glomelan. When we are running between reformed or becomes formed, while we are running out from the zeolite phase conditions into the phenite cubenite phases, then we have some titanite. Here under blue-schist phase conditions, we have more titanite, we have calcite, and then later on in the blue-schist phase conditions, we are forming the aragonite. So, and what is now the relationship between the calcite and the aragonite? These are all those of the calcium carbonates, that is ES203. So, but the aragonite has another crystallographic symmetry and is then stable under higher pressure conditions. That means the atomic cell is then smaller compared to those of the calcite. So, in these minerals, we are calling them polymorph minerals. So, next slide, please. So here we have then another map from the Baranof zone, from schistose metagravics from southeast Alaska. So then we have here also different zones. Here we have, for example, the granites. So that means when we have seen, when we can observe some granites, then we have an intrusion. So if this intrusion will then affect the surrounding rocks. So if we are looking at these different zones, then we have here silimanite, yeah? Then we have here andalusite, cordierite, we have here garnet, and here we have biotite. Here around this granite we have the same sequence, silimanite and andalusite, cordierite, garnet. So what do you think about what for a geotectonic, only by looking at this map? What for a geotectonic setting? We see here what for a geotectonic setting we are dealing here. Is it such a setting or such a setting? We are heating something up. And then we are sitting here in a conduct metamorphic event. So when we are heating it up, then we are sitting here on the prograde heating path and heating it up, and here we are forming then maybe our silimanite. Then we are cooling it down, running from the silimanite into the andalusite, yeah? It looks like this. Here we have silimanite, here we have kyanite, here we have andalusite, then we are running from here to here. So then we have here the garnet. Then we have here this Hornfelsing. So what means now Hornfelsing? That is also typical for a contact metamorphic zone. So that is then we are forming here a Hornfels, and that is a very fine grade, high grade metamorphic rock, which does not show any schistosity. So where we have here rocks which are showing a schistosity, and which mineral is producing then a schistosity? That is the biotite. So next slide. So that is now a map from Australia. What can we here see? We have here a zone of metapsamitic rocks, yeah? These are also metasedimentary rocks. So what can we see here? And first we have always to check the legend, yeah? And then we can see here we have again our granite. But here we can then see we have a migmatite. So and what means this or tells you this? If you can see a migmatite. That tells you we have here a molten metamorphic. And that is always when we have what, a high or low fluid activity. That is, you have a high fluid activity. And that comes from your sediments in this case. Where the granite has intruded in, then you have a very high fluid activity, and then the whole stuff will just start to melt. So then you have here these metapsamitic penitic rocks. They are then also very, very fine grained. And here you have then the transition zone from sillimanite into andalusite. Then you are running here also from here to here, as seen in this very, very simple diagram. So then we are going to the next slide. Okay, that is then a general slide which tells you something about the chemical bulk rock composition of this quartzo-feldspatulite rocks. So here we are increasing the silica concentration in both granites, and here we have the oxides. 8% of the oxides, I mean that is also an oxide, but here we have calcium oxide and sodium oxide. So here we have some other oxide, aluminium, iron 3, iron 2, magnesium, titanium, and potassium. So depending on this, on the bulk rock chemical composition of our quartzoid, feldspatulite rocks, we are classifying them different. So here, for example, mafic biotite-rich rocks has a relatively low silica concentration, low calcium and sodium oxide concentration, but high concentration in this kind of oxides. So and if you have biotite, I mean we need magnesium and we need potassium and we need aluminium and iron to form a biotite. Yeah? So and the reason why we have a low, or why we are calling them more basic, that is because of the lower silica concentration. So, then we have here the melanoacritic diatoxides. Then we have here the meta-gray buckets, yeah. From the meta-gray buckets, they are showing a high variation in chemical biochemical composition. And I showed you now in this class a lot of diagrams from examples from meta-gray buckets around the whole world. Then we have the leucocratic diatoxides here. Then we have here an anatectic granite. So you know you can form high-type granites or S-type granites. I mean the high-type granite has its origin or is of interest origin. And the S-type granites, these are the sedimentary granites. They are of sedimentary origin, and that means sediments which becomes molten. So just regarding this, we are classifying then these parts of rocks according to their or regarding their bulk rock chemical composition. So next and last slide. So what can we see here? We have again a PT diagram. Here again the three aluminosilicates, kyanite, silimarite, andalusite. And here we have some curves. There we have a muscovite granite at temperatures of about 650 degrees Celsius. Here we have a granite containing muscovite, and you know the muscovite that is the deoctahedral mica. So then we have here the tonalite. These are then the magmatic precursors. So in there can you see here around the next tonalite that is in the Laguna Creek, as I told you also thousands of times before. And here you have another curve that is the granite trisolidus, yeah. So that means when we are talking about the granite trisolidus, that means we have less water inside. And that means we have the less hydrous minerals inside, yeah? Because I mean the water must be somewhere. So and if you have here a muscovite granite, then that is a wet granite. So these curves are just used that one get the relationship between the wet solids and the dry solids here. So and now we have here this shaded field. We have here this gray field. And we have here this more dark gray field, yeah? So in the gray field, we have the biotite out reaction. So that means under this pressure and temperature conditions, certain biotides will break down